1990. The Canadian housing market is euphoric. Everyone believes it's going to go up forever. Everyone, except the Bank of Canada, because they already see what the rest of the country's about to learn the hard way. This market isn't healthy. It's a bubble, and it's seconds from blowing. The truth is simple. The math doesn't work, the debt doesn't work, the income doesn't work, and the prices, they're defying gravity in a country where wages barely move. And just like every bubble in history, when gravity shows up, it doesn't tap you on the shoulder. It takes the whole system down. Now fast forward, 2026, if you live in Canada, own a home, rent, or even dream of buying one, what's coming next is going to hit your life directly. Because this time, it's not just a housing bubble, it's a debt bubble, a wage bubble, an immigration bubble, and a government trapped by the very system it built. Even the IMF flagged Canada's financial system as one of the most exposed in the developed world. Here's what I'm going to show you in this video. First, the exact math the Bank of Canada already knows. The same patterns they saw in 1990, but multiplied by 10. The math that makes a 2026 collapse not just possible, but unavoidable. Second, the illusion holding the Canadian economy together. The belief that high prices mean strength, when in reality, it's the final stage before a system resets. And third, the one decision that separates the people who survive this reset from the people who get wiped out by it. Homeowners, renters, investors. This part is not optional. The math isn't forecasting a crash, it's counting down to one. And when this blows, it won't just hit homeowners, it'll hit wages, rents, cities, pensions, the entire Canadian economy. This won't be 1990. This will be Canada's first true system-wide reset. So let's go back. In 1990, Canada hits peak housing euphoria. Prices are soaring. Real estate feels invincible, but inside the Bank of Canada, the quants see something else. Debt exploding, wages flat, defaults rising. The bubble bursts. Prices fall for 7 straight years, nationally. Down 22% in Toronto, down 38% from peak to trough. Unemployment rips past 11%. Mortgage rates hit 14%. And that was with household debt around 90% of income. To survive it, Canada slashes interest rates, floods the system with cheap credit, and it works, temporarily. But that fix becomes an addiction. For 30 years, every slowdown gets the same drug. Lower rates, more debt, kick the problem down the road. By 2020, Canada triples down, record immigration, record deficits, record leverage, record prices, and now, in 2026, the same forces are back. Only louder, heavier, amplified, higher debt, higher rates, weaker incomes, bigger bubbles. This isn't just a housing problem anymore, it's an everything problem. And here's where it gets dangerous. If the Bank of Canada cuts, they reinflate the bubble. If they hold, they detonate the debt. There is no safe option. 1990 broke the market with half the debt we carry now. Today, that number is closer to 187% of income. That stat, it's directly from StatCan and the OECD. Double the leverage, double the fragility, and yet this market feels more confident than ever, as if nothing bad can happen here. That belief is the final illusion, because when a system is this stretched, this exposed, it doesn't take a collapse to crash. It just takes gravity to come back, and gravity is already here. Let's be clear, this isn't a theory. It's not a maybe, it's already happening. You're not waiting for a crash. You're living inside the opening stages of one, because the numbers, they're already breaking records, just not the kind you want. Let's start with the stat that should be front page news. Canada's mortgage interest payments went up 90% since 2022, but principal payments down 47%. That's according to data from Desjardins and Bank of Canada reports. Let that land. We're paying almost double to own less of our homes. That's not just bad math, that's a financial death loop. Because as rates stay high, and they are, your monthly payment isn't building equity. It's feeding the bank. And the trap is already set. You might think, rates are coming down, we'll be fine. Wrong. Even if the Bank of Canada cuts again, and they might, your payment can still go up. Why? Because the cheap loans from 2020 and 2021, gone. Every day, more expire. And they're replaced by mortgages that cost 2 to 3 times more. So even if rates dip, the average mortgage rate across Canada still climbs. If you have a mortgage or plan to get one, this isn't macro theory, it's your reality. And it's already getting worse. But it's not just mortgages. This is system-wide debt pressure, household debt to income, 187%, highest in the G7. Mortgage debt alone, over $2.1 trillion. And for a third of Canadians, just the interest now eats over 25% of their income. Before food, before gas, before taxes, think about that for a second. That's not sustainable. And the pressure's rising. It's not just families underwater, it's the federal government too. In 2019, federal debt was 721 billion. Today, 1.29 trillion. That's a 79% increase in 6 years. While your income barely moved, now we're spending 54 billion a year on interest. More than defense, more than infrastructure, more than child benefits. This isn't budgeting, it's survival math. And according to the Parliamentary Budget Office, it's only going up from here. Now stack this on top. Since 2021, Canada added over 3.2 million people. That's like dropping 2 new Torontos into the system in 36 months. But jobs didn't keep up. For every job created, we added 2 people. That's not growth, that's pressure. On housing, on rents, on wages, on infrastructure, and in the one place we cannot afford to break, construction. Right now, over 421,000 homes are under construction across Canada. That's a record, but completions are falling. Project cancellations just hit a 10-year high, and developers are walking away mid-build. Why? Because financing doesn't work anymore. The money's too expensive, and the math, it stopped working. And when the math dies, the pipeline locks up. And when that happens, this turns fast. First, costs spike, then activity slows, then prices stall, then panic takes over. Right now, we're between step 2 and step 3, and the next one isn't slow, but it's not just housing. Zoom out and you'll see it everywhere. Corporate debt in Canada, over $3.2 trillion, consumer insolvencies, up 27% year over year, credit card delinquencies, highest since 2012. This isn't just a housing bubble, it's a Canadian everything bubble. And the Bank of Canada, they're not steering the ship, they're just trying not to drown. If they cut rates, they reward the reckless and reinflate the biggest asset bubble in Canadian history. If they hold, they suffocate families, small businesses, and investors. If they raise, they detonate the federal budget because interest payments are now the fastest growing expense in the entire country. This isn't monetary policy, it's a hostage situation. The Bank of Canada doesn't have options, just consequences. And every path leads to the same place, a full system reset, not just for housing, but for prices, policy, people. And most Canadians, they're still waiting for some dramatic crash headline to make it real. But they're missing the signs that are already here. Because you don't need flames to know the house is burning, you just need to follow the numbers. And right now, every number is pointing to the same exit. The belief that things will bounce back, that's the last illusion left. And it's the one keeping most people frozen. Because when a system is this stretched and this exposed, it doesn't take a collapse to trigger a crash. It just takes gravity to come back. And gravity is already here at the end of every cycle. There's always one moment that separates the people who survive from the people who get erased. It's the moment before the reset peaks, when you still have choices, when liquidity still exists, when the market hasn't slammed the door on you yet, because once prices crack, once renewals detonate, once buyers disappear, you don't get to make strategic moves anymore. You react, you panic, and the market decides your fate for you. Every crash in history follows the same pattern. It transfers wealth from the leveraged to the liquid, from the hopeful to the repaired, from the ones who waited to the ones who acted before the crowd saw what was happening. That's the one decision. Do you move before the reset or after it destroys your position? And this applies to everyone. If you're a renter, you've been told this is temporary pain, but if landlords start selling into pressure, you want to be the one with the down payment ready. This is your chance to build a war chest, while everyone else is still waiting for the market to calm down. If you're an investor, this is the gut check moment. Do you double down on a system that's clearly breaking? Or do you trim risk, raise cash, and wait for the moment when panic puts real assets on clearance? And if you're a homeowner, especially in Canada's over-leveraged suburbs and bedroom communities, your decision is the most important of all. Because your home isn't just where you live, it's your last financial stronghold. In a country where wages are flat, inflation eats everything, and housing has become the only retirement plan most Canadians have left. That fortress can save you or trap you. It protects you only if you use it right, and only if you move before the reset makes the decision for you. One wrong move in this market, one mistimed listing, one renewal gamble, one price mistake can set a family back 10 years. So if you're sitting in a house in Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, Ancaster, Dundas, Stony Creek, looking at a renewal date, a job risk, or just a sick feeling that this doesn't add up anymore, you're not crazy, you're early, and you don't need hype, you need clarity. And no, I'm not pushing a sale. I'm trying to make sure you don't get blindsided by one. Whether you list or not, the pressure is coming. So here's what I built for you. It's my free seller guide built specifically for this market. In these communities, not generic, not recycled, built for real families across Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, and surrounding areas. The ones feeling this squeeze in real time. Inside it, you'll get 7 proven ways to increase your home's value by 5 to 10% before you list. A step-by-step seller checklist that puts you 10 moves ahead of the average homeowner. A real-time price estimate based on what your home could actually sell for right now. For the 99% of people I'll never meet. Because this market doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards preparation. And if you want to make the right call for your future, before this reset makes it for you, start here, click the link below, get the guide, and own the outcome, before the outcome owns you.